Men who like to keep their morning routine simple will love these multi-for-him gummies, specially formulated with 12 key nutrients designed to support men's daily nutritional needs. Nature-made multi-for-him gummies help support muscle and bone health. It improves your immune health, and it increases your energy metabolism. With the quality you can trust, nature-made multi-for-him gummies have no artificial flavors, no synthetic dyes, no high fructose corn syrup, no artificial sweeteners, and is gluten-free. Pharmacists around the world have recommended Nature Made to be the #1 vitamin and supplement brand. So when you need something that's going to help you get you through the day, when you need something that's going to increase your energy to help you get you through that workout, to make you perform as an elite athlete at the top of your ability, try Nature Made multi-for-him gummies, because you don't want to stop
to the 12th round.
Welcome to the Terror Dome. You should be heading home, cause you could bring all of your ninjas and the Technodrome. I rip right through your flesh and bone and mental capacity. Flood your mind with atrocities and copious tragedies. This dark Sabbath is a lesson in street. The holy church of the ghetto feel the words when I preach. Amen. Let the Lord say a prayer for they don't end up in front of someone banging their trigger. Living life like a war pig. Fuck the law, I'm getting mine. Let the others figure what the cost is. Purchasing the fortress on gorgeous acres enormous. Car park full of foreigners and women just waiting on us. We living the dream. Y'all living like hell is earthbound. We are not the same. You've been a lame since birth, pal. I don't feel sorry. I recommend they go dirt bound. Doggy dog world, and you've been looking like Chuck Brown.
Well, beautiful people, best damn nation. It is Friday, and you know what time it is. It is the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. I am your humble host, Brian Renegade, and with me, I have the best damn crew. Listen, if you see this man in a dark alley, run. He will beat you up and throw your ass in the trash can. He is the green-eyed bandit. He fights people. Sometimes he bites people. He's your mama's favorite wrestler, and he can whoop your daddy ass. The one and only Roosevelt, the fighter, was handed.
What's up, Brian? What's up, Brian? And ladies and gentlemen, we have our head honcho, our capitan of the ship. We can't do this without him, and he knows it. He's Mr. Clean himself. Brian Renegade. What's happening, brother?
Well, thank you. Appreciate it, my man. Yeah.
Gracias.
Yeah, all that. Denied. It was a beautiful day, man. We got a special guest in the building. I want you to please do the due diligence and introduce our esteemed guest.
Absolutely. Listen, every show, Brian talks about not wanting to see me in a dark alley. You don't want to see this man in a dark alley, okay? He got the 1-2s for your 1-2s. You know what I'm saying? Them two front teeth. He's a phenomenal talent, a phenomenal fighter, phenomenal wrestler. He's made his travels all over the U.S., all over the world. He is my man. And when you get a chance to see him in the ring, you're going to understand why he is my man, 100 grand. My man, our guest, Million Vinish. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, I used to go by Million Vinish. Now these days, I go by Vikram Strong Brave, the Trump wrestler. A very controversial one, of course.
How did you come up with that name, man? Because Vikram is a very strong name.
So there was this movie released in India in Tamil, in a language called Tamil. The name of the movie is Vikram. And that's where I got the name from. And it was a remake of another movie that released in 1983. It was the same actor who acted. And when I searched the meaning on Google, I liked it. Strong, brave. And I wanted to change my name because a lot of people don't know this. Tamilian Vinish, the name that given to me by Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall at the Nightmare Factory, because years ago I used to go by as the Indian Nightmare. So when I got a chance to go to AW, I they cannot, uh, use the Indian Nightmare thing. So they asked my background, what language I speak, and what heritage that I represent. So I told them like I speak a language called Tamil, which is one of the oldest spoken languages in the world. Also, an official languages, one of the official languages of Singapore, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, and southern part of India. Then we talked about the culture. That's how the name came, Tamilian Vinish.
Awesome.
Then
That's
Vikram Strong Brave, of course, it just came from a movie, and the Trump wrestler gimmick, um, it came from my friend Micah Taylor, aka Mike Sharer. Um, God bless his soul. So I was talking to him, like I need to change my gimmick. So we watched this guy on TV, Vivek Ramaswamy. He was a politician. So the idea came up with it, and Micah said, "Dude, you can't do the same thing that Jinder Mahal done in the past or Kali done in the past. It's the same thing, same routine. It's a different names, different characters, but different people, but it's the same character." So I like this politician, and then he came up with the idea: you got to be a politician. That should be your gimmick. So that's how it was all started, and we lost Micah back in September 12th, and I'm just paying tribute to him. So I'm keeping the gimmick. In fact, I got a chance to go to one of the Trump rally. I got a chance to meet President Trump, and yeah, so. I know this was a short question. I had to give you the detailed answer.
no, we like details around here, man. The more detailed, the better. Tell us when did you get your start?
Back in end of 2012, actually 2013, I was working as a dishwasher in an Indian restaurant in upstate New York. I would say upstate. It was like 3 hours from Albany, New York, and 3 hours from downtown New York. From there, I used to catch a bus to Port Authority. And then from there, I catch the train to Brooklyn, New York. From there, I walk 15 minutes to Glasson's Gym in Brooklyn, New York. And that's where I got a chance to start under the guidance of the unpredictable WWE Hall of Famer, Johnny Rods. That's how I started. So I pretty much used to travel 14 hours twice a week just to go there and train. That's how it's all started.
Oh man, you just up here casually dropping big names like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I was trained. I got my name from Cody Rhodes, and these are huge names, man. You mentioned two wrestlers that I actually love their characters on TV. The great Khali and Jinder Mahal, man. Did that wave of Indian wrestlers, did that influence you any?
I would say Tiger Ali Singh was the guy who I was really inspired from, because Tiger came in a wrong era, in a wrong time, but he was a phenomenal wrestler. And because if you go back and watch one of the Stampede matches that he had, Tiger was a great wrestler, but unfortunately he really used in a really bad way, in a bad time, in a bad era. And again, Giant Singh, he was another guy from New Japan. Then there was another guy, Giant Baba. And these guys kind of like had represented Asian and Indian culture. But unfortunately, like everybody knows Great Khali and Jinder because they were on primary television. Yeah. But mine came from, of course, Tiger Ali Singh. He was, then Gama Singh, God. Stampede Wrestling, he was a man. The matches he had with Owen Hart, Chris Benoit, British Bulldog, and all those guys, Gamose was also a great inspiration for me to start in this business. He was the man at that time.
Absolutely. Do you not you're in a space where you're interacting with younger wrestlers, right? What advice do you give young wrestlers that's just starting in the business if they are trying to find themselves in their characters?
Stay away from social media.
Mm.
Shut your mouth and listen. Gain the experiences as much as possible. Travel as much as possible. That's the best I can tell you now. And get advices from the veterans who've done something in this business. Draw money from this business. Listen to them. Be more thankful and grateful. The fact that you're getting an opportunity, it's an honor. It's an honor and it's a privilege to get in the ring, step in the ring. There's a lot of countries in the world, they don't even have rings. They wrestle in the mud. If you look at it, I forgot the name of the promotion in Uganda. They wrestle in the mud, and you're privileged to step in this circle, and you get a chance to bump in a ring. So it's a privilege. So accept it, be grateful, and like I said, stay away from social media, stay away from drama. If you want to get hired in the WWE, AW, and all the other promotions, stay away from the drama, stay away from. So I mean, use social media to promote your stuff, but stay away from it. Don't discuss any politics or any other stuff.
Let's talk about your first start. When you first got the opportunity to step inside of a ring and begin training. What was your mentality, and what was that like for you?
All I ever wanted was to have one wrestling match just to say I did it. And I remember taking bumps, and it took 2 or 3 days for me to understand and learn how to take a bump. I mean, like, this shit is not fake. This is crazy. And when I start taking bumps, Johnny asked me to take 100 bumps, something like that. I'm taking bump, 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 bump. And next day, my body was sore. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to do this. But then again, it's just the passion, and all I ever wanted was one match. After one match, it was just like hunger. I wanted more. I wanted more. I wanted more. And then I realized I'm living my dream here. And I always wanted to get somewhere with wrestling, just wrestle. That's all it was. And when I got a chance to do my first match, and again, Johnny have his own process. He's not going to just put you in the ring. You know, it's just like you got to do a lot of battle royals, 8-man, 6-man tag matches. Once you gain experience, then tag matches, then you get triple threat matches, then you get that one-on-one. And that was kind of like a process. And I kind of feel like that should be the way to learn too. So for me, after a couple of days of training, I really didn't want to do this. But then, I don't know, it's just the people that I was around supporting me, and it was amazing.
You said you got your start in 2012, and now you actually run an entire company on the AWWA. Tell us how all that came about, man. Like, what gave you the motivation to start your own company?
AEW Dark. The experience I get in AEW Dark. And I'm sorry, I'm just shooting straight here. They were insulting independent professional wrestlers who gave their blood, sweat, tears in this business for years and years. They were bringing these independent professional wrestlers and squashing them. I hate to use the word, squashing them, disrespecting them under 2 minutes and 3 minutes. It was a big insult. And I'm like, this is not right. This is not right, because everybody's have a big hope. And I had a hope. I'm sure you had a hope. You had expectation. So many wrestlers had a hope. Like, okay, this is another company that we might get a chance to get something out of it. Maybe we'll be able to get a contract. So my whole experience with AEW was the reason I wanted to start something, that I wanted to provide an opportunity. Talents, it doesn't matter from where, from Alaska or Wyoming. If they can come here, I'm going to give them a platform to show their talent, their whatever they can do in the ring. And when you get 5 minutes, you can't really show much. And that's why I started AWWA.
Okay. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. So what's the biggest lesson that you learned by starting your own wrestling company?
What was that again?
What's the biggest lessons that you've learned
Oh,
since starting your promotion?
when you're a promoter, it's totally different. You have to think and look everything in a different perspective. You can be but that's a good thing. I've taken bumps too, so I know how it is. And compromise is another thing that I had to deal with when I was. I don't want to throw the names. I booked some of the former WWE guys, former AW guys. They came in and they didn't really wanted to do what I asked them to do, and I had to compromise on things like that. So I decided not to do that again. So that's why I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm flying them here and I'm paying them this, I'm giving them a hotel, and you're stepping in the ring for 10, 15 minutes. And if you're showing the attitude, you're showing the ego to me, then you know what? Screw them, fuck them. And these experiences made me a better person and strong person, in fact.
Right. Oh man, I can definitely see that. Um, and it was it difficult starting out, and then building your crowd. Talk about your first event that you threw.
It was very easy because one of my friend at that time was a stunt coordinator for a movie, and I didn't had any plan to start a promotion, but he called me and he said, "Hey, we're filming this movie called El Santos, My Hero. We need a ring and we need some wrestlers. We're filming it. We're gonna pay you $1,500." I'm like, "Oh shit, okay." Anyway, I want to start some promotion. And I was like, okay. I went and registered the license in the state of Georgia and rented the ring and everything. And we promoted the movie on the flyers and posters. And we drove around 340 some people for our first show. And they had the crane, big camera, and all that stuff. And I didn't really lose any money on my first show. It was an awesome crowd. And that's how it happened. And I was like, oh, shit. And I made a mistake too. Second show, I listened to a wrong people, and I'm probably gonna get slammed for saying this. I ended up doing an LGBTQ show. That was the biggest mistake I ever made. All the fans that I draw for the first show, boom, went down to 120 or something. But then you learn from your mistake. Then eventually, I ended up booking the right talent. I ended up bringing talents from different places. We got a chance to work with names like Martin Casas, Matt Cross, and those guys came in. They started bringing their experience and names. So that helped a lot. But for your question, the first show, that's how it happened.
Okay. Let's talk about the show you have coming up on the April 18th. And you have one match. I got to show real quick. Myself and Cameron Walker. And then you also have your match coming up with yourself and DJ Brown, who I'm very familiar with. Let's talk about your match in particular, you versus DJ Brown. What led up to this, and what are your expectations?
A treasure that took too long to find. That's what DJ is. And I'm gonna see this kid very soon on national television. It's just a matter of time. And also, I wanted to test myself too. And I watched him working in Dog Pound Wrestling and other promotions. And kudos to him. He's about to wrestle with Ethan Carter the third in one of the promotions in Arkansas. He's very talented, and he's a second generation, just like his dad. And he understands this business, and he's humble. He don't walk around with that entitlement, like, oh yeah, you know what, my dad was a wrestler. No, he's humble, and the talents that he can put not just other talents on the map, even promotions. People are literally talking about other promotions because of him. And also for our last show, he drove 20 hours from Memphis, Tennessee to Phoenix, Arizona in 2025. You're not going to find that in a lot of people.
No.
Because he had that heart, he had that dedication. And that's why I wanted to test myself, and I wanted to wrestle against DJ.
I can definitely attest to that. DJ actually drove over to North Carolina When I had my first opportunity out there in Arkansas, and he drove me to the airport after I got done with the show. And he was like, "Hey man, what do I need to do to kind of get out there?" And he's one of those guys that asks questions, and he has this insatiable hunger to kind of get better. And I said, "Yo man, if you're ever in North Carolina, hit me up." So he hit me up like maybe a couple of months later. He said, "Yeah, I'm driving out there." I said, "You gonna drive to North Carolina?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "If you drive to North Carolina, I'll get you on a show and you come train with me." And he drove all the way throughout the whole night. Got there the next day, got in the ring with me, trained with me with my craziness. Went home, took a shower, got some rest, did the show, got up, came and did another training session with me, and then drove back to Memphis. It was him and C-Rex, who we've had on the show recently. C-Rex is another talent who's out there just hungry and really wants it. And I always say my praises to DJ. Like, he's one of those guys when I say, "Yo, I got you," DJ is definitely one of those guys I say, "I got you." Let's run back to AEW real quick, because we both have had our experience with AEW. Mine was not very good as well. Expand on your experience and why you feel the way you feel with AEW.
My first impression was, so I was invited to train at the Nightmare Factory right after my WWE tryout with Solo Sikoa. I had to throw his name because he's doing amazing on TV. And I got a chance to train at the Nightmare Factory, and they were like taking all these talents or the kids that were part of the camp. I don't remember what number was it. So they do this camp for 4 weeks or 12 weeks or something. They pay around $5,500, whatever it is. So they were sending these guys for AEW Dark, and they wanted me to be on AEW. And this is the reality. This is like real, honest to God truth right here. So I was told that, okay, Tony Khan wants me there. And we sat and we talked about possible contract. First year, 50K, second year, 70K, third year, 90K. That's what the guy that I spoke to told me. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. We just want you to come by and work a match. And I go there. I was supposed to work a 6-man tag match with another Indian guy named Robo or Jora or something. And it was supposed to be Dark Order, whatever. And then that changed to a tag match. And 15 minutes before the match, again, it changed. So referee, what was her name? Aubrey, whatever, Edwards. She was the one writing down all that. And that's already gave me an impression. So within 2 hours, they changed the match back and forth like 3-4 times. And I go up there, got a chance to work with Cole Cabana and Evil Uno. We had a decent 5 to 7 minutes of a tag match. And after that, I got a chance to see Tony Khan. Tony Khan came to us in the back. That was fucking awesome. I love everything what you did. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, shit, that's so cool. So I'm under the impression, okay, I got it. Now, when I'm walking around, I've said this before in the past podcast. Some other guys, like Billy Gunn's kids, MJF, the Orange Cassidy dude, and all that, they don't really wanted to communicate with anyone. They have their own setup. They have their own people. They have their own group, just like Click. And it was not a vibe that I was expecting. A lot of entitlement. I saw a lot of entitled people there, and the attitude. I kind of felt like it was the inmates running the asylum kind of a feeling. And I've said this like almost 3 years ago in a podcast, and I got heat from the entire internet. People even saying, "Well, it's coming from a jobber who didn't got anything. He's jealous." But that was the vibe that I got, and I was under the impression that I got the contract and everything. Impressed. Then a couple of weeks later, they invited me again to work with the Acclaimed. Anthony Bowen's amazing dude, very professional, and again, it's one of those experiences. I went there and I was just being a body. It was another squash match, and I pitched some of the things that I wanted to do. They didn't really want to give me that. Caster changed some of the spot, kicked the shit out of my head. And this is another funny thing. Like Bowen's tag caster, and then Bowen's pinned me 1, 2, 3. We went back, and Caster realized he messed up. So Caster told Tony, "Hey, he tagged me, but then he pinned Vinish. So we got to go back and fix it." So it was one of those times where wrestlers were the fans because of the COVID. So we had to go back, retake the whole thing. And then Big Show, Paul White, got up and said, Vinish shouldn't be taking any more bumps. Tag Caster, drop the elbow, just finish it. But then again, they got to put their shit in. They came back. They got to reshoot the whole thing. That's the first time I'm experiencing anything like that in the wrestling world. You're filming something, they got to fix it, just like in the movies. So again, they gave me a couple more bumps, and then boom, Caster dropped the elbow, 1, 2, 3. And I remember Paul White, Big Show, came to me and he said, "You know what? Things happens like this, but if you ever get a chance, listen to the commentary." I'm like, sure. And Monday they air this on YouTube, and I'm listening to it. So imagine Tony Schiavone, that I grew up watching and listening, WCW, saying my name. Big Show, Paul White, saying my name. Oh, Tamilian Vinish, what a great guy. You have a great knowledge of wrestling. Here I am taking all these beatings, and these guys were putting me over in commentary for at least 30 seconds. That felt good. So that was my AEW experience. And after that, there was a time I was supposed to go there and work a 60-minute Iron Man match with Lance Archer.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. You understand what that means?
Yeah.
I was like, nah, it's all good, but then I was told that not to take any bookings, indie bookings, because we have plans. Then they said we might gonna put you in commentary for India, and it varies. And they said they have plans to do a show for Indian Independence Day or something. Then they said, okay, how about $35K per year? I was like, sure. I just want to wrestle. And that went down to about $500 a week just to come here and do some training. I was like, sure, no problem. None of those things happen. And I remember my last day at the Nightmare Factory, I told QT, like, I really appreciate all these things that you guys are doing it. But I'm out. I just wanted to work. I want to wrestle. I can't. Then I ended up traveling. And anyway, for your question, that was my AEW experience. I met a lot of these television stars, AEW superstars. Some of them were assholes and morons. But whether you believe it or not, the Young Bucks were always nice to me. Hangman Adam Page, he was nice to me. MJF, what do you see on TV? That's what you get. And one of the, and also I'm just gonna add one more. I remember when I was there, Big Swole, she was having a dark match. She got chopped on her neck by some new rookie. I don't remember her name, and I was in the back, and me and one of my buddy, we got her ice bag and all that, and she was sitting in the corner. No one gives a shit. No one cares. It was just her, and I still remember. And she was putting that bag right there, and I'm looking around. All right, okay, this is weird. It's the same show they were filming for Dynamite or something, where Caster got a small injury and he was bleeding from his fingers or palm or something, and he was in the back. And I see 5 to 6 medics. It's like, are you okay? Are you okay? You're right. Okay, don't worry, no problem. Like, huh, very interesting. Well, there you go. That's my AEW experience.
That's awesome. You mentioned you had a WWE tryout. How did that experience teach you on how to be who you are today?
So before that, I got to go and say end of 2019, I got a chance to go to Japan, and I got a chance to train under Kaz Hayashi, Wrestle One. So I was in the best shape of my life. And when I came back, we had this COVID pandemic. Everybody was in quarantine. The gyms were closed. It was right before that I got a chance to do another training with Kazuo Shibata-san in North Carolina. In I forgot the name of the wrestling promotion. That's where we did our training. So I drove around like 11 hours, and we had this great training thing with Shibata-san. So I was in a great shape of my life. I was taking 500 squats every other day. I was doing 500 squats, almost 300 push-ups and all that. So I was so good, but my ignorance got in the way. And I'm like, I'm eating right. I don't drink. I don't smoke. And I'm working out really well. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm not going to get COVID. That was my attitude. I'm untouchable. And I got COVID. And it knocked me out. It took like 30 days for me to get out of it, just to get test negative. Now, February 7th, I'm getting the email from WWE. Hey, you're invited to do a WWE tryout. And February 21, 22, 23 or something. Those were the dates. Now, I can't even do 5 squats. I can't even do 10 push-ups. And that's when Michael Taylor gave me the key for the gym. And he said, anytime you want to come in and do whatever it is. So I used to go to Michael's gym like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I just run the ropes. And he used to send me the workouts. What are the things I need to do? What I can expect from WWPC. So he made sure that I don't get embarrassed. So I lost all the conditioning and everything. And then I'm going to the PC. I'm excited because this is something that you don't really get. Out of 100 billion people all over the world, you got a chance to go to the WWE Performance Center. I was nervous. I was scared. I was worried. I was concerned. And it's like 7 to 8 hours of drills, back and forth, the first day. And they'll give you like an hour lunch or something. And I'm like, my conditioning sucked so bad. I couldn't really breathe much in between because I was having the chest pain, chest cramps, couldn't do much. Then the second day we had promos. Then we had to do matches. And one of the most memorable moments I had was I got a chance to work Anthony Green. It was just a 5-minute match, and I think it was the referee Daryl Sharma was the ref for our match. And I was selling back and forth. So Daryl came to me and said, Sean likes your selling, so he wants you to go a little bit more, like do more. So that 5 minutes extended to like 7 or 8 minutes, whatever it was. And after the match, I was in the back. I was talking to Ace Steel. So Sean came by and Sean said, that was a good selling, kid. I like it. And I'm like, holy shit, that was Shawn Michaels. That was one of my memorable moments. But then again, after the wrestling matches, they gave us 1 hour break. Then again, the drill never stops. And the doctors had to stop me because I started holding my chest because the chest cramps were like too much. I was feeling like I'm probably going to have a heart attack. I'm going to die. So the doctors saw that. And their medical team, I can tell you, amazing. They observe everything. They reached out to me like, hey, and they checked my heart rate and everything. And they said, you got to stop. And it was heartbreaking. I couldn't really do much, but it was very, very professional. And it's not a joke. It's not a joke. You have to be in a best condition in your life. If I didn't had COVID, and I could tell you 100%, I would have done amazing with the squats and all that I was doing. But then, yeah, I mean, I'm not coming up with an excuse for my failure, but you have to be in a good shape. And it's not a joke. It's like a military army drill. I've done several tryouts. I've done a tryout with a New Japan. I've done a tryout with Wrestle One. WWE's tryout probably the toughest ever. They don't care if you can wrestle or not. They just want to see if you're passionate about it. They just want to see that you have that love for the business. So that was my experience.
First of all, that was a great Shawn Michaels impression. I want to give you credit. I was like, I thought Shawn Michaels stepped in the room for a second. If I close my eyes, I can see the Heartbreak Kid.
And
So that
the
was
crazy
great.
part is, I got a chance to talk to him, and after that, they invited me to do NXT extra work, and I did a small segment with Zion Quinn and the name of the WWE champion right now. What was her name? Tiffany.
Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, she made her debut with me. So we were doing this segment where Tiffany and there's another trainer, another wrestler, were walking along with Zion Quinn, and I come in just right where he was about to open the door and show the respect. I cut him. I was like, "Hey," he asked me, "Hey, where's the manners?" And I'll be like, "Shivery's dead, pal." And I tried to get in, and he stopped me. He let Tiffany and the other girl go in, and he whipped me to the door, and I go down. So Sean produced that segment, and I went went to Sean and I said, thank you so much for this opportunity. I grew up watching you. I was like, whoa, so you're saying that I'm old? I'm like, oh shit. I'm just messing with you. I'm like, thank you so much. Yeah, that was, yeah.
Oh man, absolutely. Is it energizing when you get to meet legends that you've watched on TV, or whenever you have the opportunity to work with somebody? Do you ever get like little starstruck a little bit?
Not to everyone, but most part, yeah. I mean, I give you a Chris Jericho story. I was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I got a chance to go and meet him in Steel City Con, and it was just imagine like over 1,000 people wanted to meet Chris Jericho, and I think I spent around 150, 160, whatever. I got a chance to talk to him, take a picture. I'm a fan, right? I'm going there as a fan. And he took a picture with me, a couple of pictures, and he started talking to me at this point. What you can clearly see, like there are hundreds and hundreds of fans out there waiting, like, right? And he's just making a conversation with me. I'm like, wow, what a guy and what a star. It's like, okay, years later, I met him at the AW Dark, and I wanted to make sure I don't bother him, I don't disturb him, just, it's just different when you're a wrestler. So then I finally got a chance to talk to him, and I showed him the picture, and he literally like, yeah, okay, brushed me off and walked away. And that was a weird experience.
Yeah, I've had a couple situations. I mean, Roosevelt damn near knows everybody, but I quite often tell the story of how I met both of the Hardy boys. But I met Jeff Hardy because he had the bubble guts and he had to run to the bathroom. I worked in the mall at the time. He was like, "Hey man, you know where the bathroom at?" So yeah, it's right there. And I was like, is that Jeff Hardy?" I didn't want to be weird and go to the bathroom, follow him, get a piece of tissue, but like, can you sign this tissue real quick? Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to be weird like that. But that's cool, man, that you have these interactions with a lot of the people that you have in the wrestling business. What's some of the best advice that you've ever gotten in the locker room?
um, um, do as many shows as possible and put people over in a different way as possible. Don't think about yourself. If you have to put someone over, put them over in a creative way as possible. Put your some effort from yourself too. Just like not just going there and just having whatever the match and boom. No, work with the crowd. That's another thing that I was like, okay, if they're paying 10, 20, whatever it is, make sure they invest and involve emotionally. Work with the crowd. If I'm a heel, yeah, talk smack to them. Like, try to get their energy to the ring. I remember one of the shows that I worked in Ohio, there was this girl, she was on her phone during my match. I got out, I snatched the phone, and she was like, my phone. And of course, I give it back later. But till the end of the show, she was paying attention. She don't want her phones to get snatched, and also like she's like, okay, what's going on? And I call her out back and forth here and there, and then of course there are fans. But those were the advices. Again, I wish I had someone told me, hey, stay away from social media. That was the best advice. I wish, but I didn't. But then again, I remember Sami Zayn said this. Just work as many shows as possible. And Kevin Owens did the same thing. Study tapes. And again, there's another guy that I would like to say his name, Rip Rogers. Rip used to say, like, it's not real. Unfortunately, the kayfabe is gone. You are a performer now, and it's not about you. It's about the story. You're telling the story. So those were the best advices I could say I got from stars.
Oh, absolutely. That's good stuff. April 18th, we have your show coming up, WrestleMania Weekend. It's called AWWA Uncensored. It's going to be at the Bull Shooters, 3337 West Peoria Avenue in Phoenix, Arizona. And that is happening during WrestleMania week, which is a big week for professional wrestling all in itself. What made you decide to do it in Phoenix versus Las Vegas?
So most of the times, I'm sure you know this, any WrestleMania weekends, there's plenty of promotions there putting all these shows together in hotels and all these venues. Mostly wrestlers just want to be a part of it. And they just wanted to get in. They don't care, whatever it is. They just want to work on a WrestleMania weekend show. Now, every eyes are on Vegas because the WrestleMania is happening in Vegas. We're just like four hours away from Vegas.
Yeah.
And we care about wrestling, and wrestlers. Instead of just putting just bunch of talents all together and just doing some random wrestling show, we would rather have a good, solid wrestling event with the solid talents. And of course, especially when you're in WrestleMania weekend, that's the best time to do it. And we're not even doing it 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. No, the show itself starts at like 10:30 p.m. at night. And Bullshitters is a sports bar. You have beer, you have liquor, you have food, and then you have wrestling. And that's the best thing. And in Vegas, of course, you have all the other promotions. All day probably going to be doing like exhibition wrestling shows. That's all they're doing. And here I am bringing wrestlers from all over the country, and I'm giving an opportunity for the wrestling fans to enjoy a taste of WrestleMania weekend is like. And because the next day, there's a lot of people will be traveling to Vegas on the road, off the road. But at the same time, it's a WrestleMania weekend. So it's kind of like a celebration for pro wrestling. So that's why I was like, okay, let's try something different here. And obviously, it's close to the midnight that we were going to do all these things. So when was the last time anyone done any wrestling shows at midnight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I quite often talk about Phoenix and how Phoenix has become this city for wrestling. Every time the WWE comes here, they always do a big surprise, an unveiling, something big, because it's always the road to WrestleMania, right? And I noticed that when I started noticing, I'm like, oh man, the last time The Rock was here, the last time Tiffany Stratton won the women's championship, man. And then I see a lot of these indie wrestling shows that are popping up in around the city. Everything from midget wrestling, excuse my term, but that's what it's called. But from that type of wrestling to very high quality promoted shows, man. What makes Phoenix an appealing market? Because I tell a lot of people, Vegas is great, but Phoenix ain't that much different from Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Other than it's more casinos, obviously, but talk about this market in Phoenix, man, for wrestling.
California is the largest populated state in the United States. In Phoenix, I'll just say Arizona State. It's very close to California. We're close to California and Vegas. Now, that's the population part. Like, you have fans, but you don't have the product. And second, you're close to everything. And Phoenix has one of the best airports, and Phoenix is booming up. So you have the platform. And there's a lot of people are sick and tired of the politics and dramas in California, in Colorado, in Vegas, in New Mexico. So Phoenix is a hub for them. Okay, let's go there and try something new. And obviously, we have ICW, one of the biggest promotions here. They always draws really good, and they always bring fans here. And again, there's some promotions out there that don't really don't do good because of the talents they bring in. There's only very few promotions out here that they wanted to put a good show and provide opportunity. And Russo will probably familiar with this thing. Most of the states, they have their own guys working everywhere. It's the same thing in here too. It's the same guys working A, B, C, and they haven't really got a chance to see any new talents from any other states. And here I am, ever since I've been running in Georgia, even in here, I always bring talents from out of state. And it's a new product here, and it's a platform for the fans to see wrestlers that they might be able to see it later in WWE or any other company. And we don't have much competition here.
Right.
So that's the plus point. Population close to everything, everywhere. Not much competition here at all.
Yeah, you brought up a good point because a lot of people from California, when you come to Phoenix, you'll meet a lot of people from California and a lot of people from Vegas and Colorado. So yeah, you definitely hit the nail right on the head, man. I'm excited to see this match, and I will be in the building with Roosevelt, man. So I want to see these matches, man. It's going to be great.
And Roosevelt, I wanted to say something added to him. I don't remember when I met him for the first time. I believe in North Carolina when I was working with Thomas Extreme. Maybe that's when I met him. But there was this incident that I always going to remember. So me and him, we were doing extra work. He got a chance to work with Veer. That was his name, Veer.
Yes.
And I'm like, I did a lot of these extra work, but I haven't seen any workers asking for any other extra worker and meeting them. So I see Cedric Alexander looking for him, and he came in and gave him a hug, and they were having this conversation. And I was like, that's so cool. You don't really see that a lot. And that was always tells a person's reputation in this business. Just wanted to say it out there, remember, because
yeah, I just remember Veer kicking the soul out his body. Damn near kicked him into the third row.
That's details. We don't need all of them details, man. You hadn't fluffed to the. Let me live, man. You know what I'm saying?
And also, I remember that show because that's where I got a chance to meet the Walt Disney of professional wrestling, Mr. Vince McMahon, in there.
How was your experience meeting Vince? Like, was it everything that you thought it was going to be?
It was crazy because it's the first time I'm saying this on a podcast. We get emails like, I mean, obviously after this, there's no way I'm going to get an invitation from WWE, and I'm okay with it. We get the email. No, I won't. You will hear. So we all get emails like, okay, do not approach Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon. We always get that email. I'm like, I'm standing outside. So he was walking right behind his bodyguard. He's a big dude, and he's walking his way to his limousine. And here I am, and I'm like, I'm at the age of 35 at that time. It's like, holy shit, that's Vince McMahon. I'm gonna say something. I don't want to say hi, hello. In Tamil, my language, Vanakkam means hello. He came close to me, and I said, Vanakkam, Mr. McMahon. He stopped. It's like, what was that? I said, that means greetings. What's your name? So my name is Vinesh. Well, are you having fun? I'm like, yeah. Well, my name is McMahon, Vince. It was nice talking to you. Good night, young man. And he walked away. And I'm like, holy shit. At the age of 35, I met the Walt Disney of pro wrestling, Vince McMahon. And I turn around. I'm not going to say the name of the person, but he was looking at me, pulled down the glass, call me, come here.
That sounds like a Matt Bloom thing. Come here.
Not going to say it. He was the producer. But the crazy part is after that, I thought I'm done. But then they invited me to go to Baton Rouge, Arkansas. And I did, after this interaction with him, I think I did a few more extra works. And I got a chance to talk to Ronda Rousey, and that was awesome. And it was really cool. So that I will always remember.
Oh man, we gotta get you to do some more impressions. Matter of fact, you got this whole this character where you praise Donald Trump, right? Can you give
Yeah.
us a good Donald Trump impression?
Yeah. So I got a chance to meet him, in fact, and he was in Atlanta. And I was about to go down, and I think there was an entrance ramp, and he was walking by. I did this, and he came to me. What's your name? I said, my name is Vinish, but I go by Vikram. That's a good name. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I'm like, thank you. And this is the crazy part. I watched Shawn Michaels all my life. I listened to him, and I not even once I tried to mimic or imitate his voice. But when I heard him talking to me, it's the same with President Trump. I watched him Home Alone, all these TV shows. Not even once I tried to mimic his voice. But when he's talking to me as a person, it's totally different. It's just stuck in here. He's a nasty person. You're doing a great job. Wonderful job, Elon. It's just
Oh
stuck in
man.
there. Yeah.
Hey, you definitely got another career as a voice actor, man. If you, if nothing else, yeah, you definitely got that going on for you, man. So what's next for you, man? What's I know you've done a lot of things in wrestling, but where do you see yourself within the next 5 to 10 years?
If everything goes well, April 18th will be my last wrestling match. And I want to produce shows. I want to run shows. I want to produce well organized, good quality wrestling promotion like OVW, like Rocky Mountain Wrestling. I want to invest more and produce solid, good quality television wrestling shows. And I have some friends that works in different companies, and I talked to them. They said they can help me out if I have good quality video with good stories and good um like good quality videos and everything, so they can give me slots on these places, like for example like Amazon Prime or Netflix, something like that, just like small network. So my goal is to build something like that, bring talents. And again, I have friends in Mexico City, Mexico. I got a chance to wrestle in there. I wanted to bring some of the guys in here, and I have friends in Ireland. I have friends in Japan. I want to bring some guys here. I want to bring these international talents that people haven't really heard about or seen much. And also, I've been talking to Nagata-san, Yuji Nagata. So we talked about doing something together by the end of this year, end of August or September. So I wanted to produce a good quality wrestling promotion, like television style. That's my goal.
So
That's
this being your last match, man, are you gonna leave it
Most
all in
probably.
the ring?
No, no. I'm not Undertaker or anything like that. It's just, no, I'm not. I don't even think I even need um, a retirement speech either. For me, I believe that I've done more than I ever wanted in this business. I've experienced more than I ever wanted in this business. Not even once in my life I never ever thought that I will step foot inside the WWE Performance Center. I never thought that I will meet Triple H. I never thought that I would meet Kevin Owens or Vince McMahon. It was crazy. It's just I'm grateful for everything that I have, even though. Don't get me wrong. I did a couple of podcasts and I shared my experiences with AEW and all that, but at the end of the day, even though it was an experience, good or bad, it was still an experience. You'll learn what to do, what not to do, stay from what. I mean, I'm sorry again. I don't want anyone to get closed or shut down, but I mean, look at it. I mean, their television program speaks for themselves too now these days. But I'm grateful. So I don't really think I really need to put my body on the line anymore. And I just wanted to help other people, and that's what I want to do. And at the end of the day, I already made history in the history books as the first ever Tamilian who represent Tamil culture in the world, who have appeared in the WWE and AEW. That's already there in the history books. So even if you go to Google, I'm always there. I've accomplished that. So that's enough for me.
Absolutely. Let me ask you a question real quick before Roosevelt jump in.
Take all your time.
Would you ever do a Bollywood movie?
I
I'm
was
interested. I think you
I
have
was
you got the look and everything. I think you would be a great Bollywood star, man.
I don't speak the language. That's the first thing. And second, I was invited to India to do a show for Great Khali. Before, I don't remember, for some reason I couldn't really do it. I don't know why. But yeah, I mean, if I get it, I don't know. Yeah, sure. Hell not. Like, if it's out there, I'll do it. At least, hey, I got a chance to do Heels season 1. So
Okay.
it's out there. So yeah, sure. Why not?
That's awesome. All right, go ahead, brother.
That's amazing. So we have this segment that we do every show. You may have seen it, you may have not seen it. I always have an issue with all the guests that come on the show, and this is usually Brian's day, so I'm gonna let him do his thing.
Yeah, he always got some type of beef, man. I don't know. He's a low key hater sometimes, and I think that he hates on the incredible talent that we have come on the show, and you are actually one of them. He said something ill begotten about you. I ain't gonna repeat it because I'm a Christian man. I ain't gonna say nothing bad, but I want you to cut a scathing promo against Roosevelt, man. I want you guys to go head to head in a promo battle. I want you to say the most despicable things you can say about him. You know what I'm saying? Tell him his breath stink, his feet look ugly. You know what I'm saying? His great grandma had a third nipple. You can say whatever you want to him. This is the opportunity for it. Are you down for this promo battle?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Who going first? Flip a coin.
Let the guests.
Guess go first?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Beautiful people, prepare yourself. We're going to war. All right, it's on you.
So, Vikram, who's this guy? Who's this Russo? Well, I will take care of this, Captain. I'll take care of this, Mr. President. Oh, I got it. I'll talk to him. I'll put some senses into him. Don't worry. Make sure you have all the papers. I will. All right, Mr. Roosevelt. I don't know where you're from. I don't know if you have a passport, if you have a visa. I see you wrestling all over the world. I see you been wrestling with the West, with the shirt. Where's the boots? What's up with that? And I see you wrestling in a weird outfits. Where are you from? That's always matters, Roosevelt. And also, I wanted to tell you that Adam Copeland is no longer using that robe, so you can use it again. Yeah. And next time when I see you, I will make sure you have the real green card. Otherwise, we'll make sure we're going to deport your ass back to where you came from.
Get him out of here. Build a wall. Yeah. Roosevelt, what you got?
Let me explain something to you. It ain't always about where you're from, it's where you at. And where I'm at right now is in your face. I'm on your ass. I'm on your neck. You can call your commander-in-chief. You can call whoever you want. You can call the Secret Service. You can call the service that's not a secret. You can call Elon Musk. You can call your granddaddy. I don't give a damn. One thing you want to understand, just like everybody else understands, is that my name is Roosevelt. And I like to fight. And not only do I like to fight, but I like to prove people wrong. And the main thing I want to prove to you is that you're not as good as you think you are. I want to show you. I want to expose you for the fraud of a politician that you are. Because every last one of you are just frauds. You guys are more fake than the actors in the movie. So, call your daddy. tell him Roosevelt is the real deal.
Call your daddy. Call your commander in chief. Call whoever the hell. Call the police. Somebody call the damn police.
Man,
Oh
there was
man.
this promotion that I got a chance to work with a couple months ago, and the crowd is mostly 90% Hispanic. And I went there and cut a promo. And I said, "This is a message to those who jump through the wall. If you haven't got your work permit, if you haven't got your social security, if you haven't got your freaking green card, then make sure you get it right now. Because in 15 days, once the commander get back to the White House, we're going to deport your ass back to where you came from." Bro,
I
it
know.
was,
I know you had to run out of there.
no, they took it into a good spirit. They all were laughing pretty much. So, but I got a good
You know,
reaction.
wrestling fans ain't what they used to be.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine Ric Flair used to wrestle the same way for forever, everywhere, for like 30 plus years. Back then, there was no YouTube, there was no social media. So just imagine having social media right now. Do you think he could have done that? No, he's wrestling the same thing, the same match from Alaska to Wyoming. But then he worked it out, made it work. It's just like, it's crazy.
Absolutely, man. Do you have more fun as a heel than a baby face? What did you spend most of your career as?
It depends where I am. It's one of those things like when I was doing shows in Ohio, I used to get death threats. This one of the messages I remember. We killed your father, and we're gonna come after you. Like, my father? Yeah, Bin Laden. I'm like, bitch, he's from fucking Middle East, and I don't mean you can. My culture is Indian. You can come up with some motel, grocery store, gas station, software. If you want to call me out or insult me, just use the right thing. And showed up with a knife to the show. And I mean, of course, the boys in the back, they just picked him up, throw him out. There was another, again, sometimes heels are good. Irvine, Kentucky, that was another place. I did my heel thing. I was putting my back and everything back in the car. 3 people chewing tobacco came to me. Hey, you a foreigner? Let me tell you something, boy. There's a green state. We don't like foreign people. But we see you here again, we shoot you and kill you. I looked at them. I didn't say a word. I got in the car. Didn't stop anywhere for 3 hours. But then for being heel, these kind of things comes with it. It depends where you are. And babyface, I always like heel because you can get the reaction out of people and you can speak the truth. For me, when I'm heel, when I'm doing this, I can say a lot of things and I can still get heat. So yeah, I like being heel always. And I think Al Snow is the only guy who used me as a babyface in OVW. I think I asked him, like, I always like to be heel, but like, I don't know, they don't know me. Yeah, but you need to learn how to be a babyface. You need to work a babyface too. You need to get a reaction. I'm like, sure. Yeah, that's the only time I actually did a babyface back in 2018 or something. Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy being heel. Definitely, yeah. Especially now these days with this character.
That's awesome.
Absolutely, man. Well, look, has been a great interview, man. And you've been dropping jewels this whole entire podcast. We have this segment that we like to call Final Word. So, do you have a final word or word of motivation for your beautiful people?
You mean for the wrestlers or fans or in general?
In general. Yeah, in general.
Be kind to everyone, be nice, be humble, be thankful and grateful for what you have. And I'll add a small experience of mine. I drove from Marietta, Georgia to Phoenix, Arizona, almost 32 hours. And right after Amarillo, Texas, it was a straight road. A couple hours later, I'm looking at both sides and it's like total empty. And I see the people, like, I think I'll say Native Americans. I think it was their, yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere. I see how they were living. And I was at that moment, I understand that and also I'm grateful at that moment. I realized I have everything. I have cell phone, I have car, I have PlayStation, and I have everything. I'm so grateful. I understand the value of life, and that's something it's hard to understand. Now these days, everybody they're born with the cell phones, they're born with the technology and all that. But I would say be humble for what you have and respect other people, their opinions, and always show a gratitude and see if you can give it back. So that's the only thing I could say.
Absolutely. That was a great final word. Oh man. Roosevelt, do you have a final word for the beautiful people?
Absolutely. My final word for the beautiful people is don't look down on a man unless you're trying to pull him up. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of that going on now where people are looking down on each other and feeling like they're better than the next person. Well, at the end of the day, the people that you're looking down on, you eventually will have to meet them when you're on your way down and then they're on their way up. So treat people the way you need to be treated, man. I mean, like I said, don't look down on the next man unless you're trying to bring him up. That's my final word for the best damn wrestling podcast.
That's a great final word from the one and only Roosevelt. Uh, Beautiful people, I guess my final word would be, and I think I've said something similar to this, but it just hit me right then. Discipline is better than motivation, and when you have discipline, you can push through where you can't find motivation. Sometimes I find I listen to tapes and I look around and I try to find I need something to motivate me. Something to motivate me to work out, to lose weight, to achieve this project, to do. And ultimately, I was like, man, I just need to stay disciplined and I just need to keep doing what I'm doing. Then the motivation will come. And the motivation is always the drive to be able to accomplish what you set out to do. You know what I'm saying? So, in place of motivation, when you're looking for motivation, just use discipline. You know what I'm saying? And just focus on that discipline and your motivation will come. That is a final word from your boy, Brian Renegade. Oh man, listen. Go ahead and push the show one more time, man. You got a big show coming up.
All right. Yes, AWWA American Warrior Wrestling Alliance presents Uncensored on a WrestleMania weekend. It's a WrestleMania weekend show at Bullshooters Sports and Grill Bar. The door opens at 9 p.m. The show starts at 10 p.m. And of course, I will be defending my AWWA World Heavyweight Championship against none other than DJ Brown from Memphis, Tennessee. And of course, there's other bigger names. We just recently added Aiden English, former WWE superstar Aiden English, to the show, to the platform, and he will be doing seminars, and also he will be wrestling against Ramrock for the United States Championship, and then AWWA Global Championship will be defended. The global champion Ticolote will be defending his global championship against none other than Son of Havoc, former Lucha Underground superstar Matt Cross. Then we will have AWWA Cornerman Tag Team Champions. The tag team title named after one of our favorite wrestler who passed away back in October in Japan, Cornerman Charles who won Jeremy Paris. So AWWA Cornerman Tag Team Champions, the Smoke Signals, will be defending their title, their championship, against the North and South Connection, Steven Person from Brooklyn, New York, and Brandon Cates from Georgia, Macon, Georgia. Then we have a match that we've been waiting for. These two gentlemen, they were no strangers to each other. They were trying to control the narrative all over the United States. Roosevelt versus Cameron Walker. Cameron Walker, he been wrestling all over the States. He been to different promotions in Florida, Tennessee. Someone who trained by Dr. Tom Pritchard and Glenn Jacobs, aka Kane, against the veteran from North Carolina. And this is another match that you should be watching it, because matches like this, you're not going to get it on any major big network. And like I said, this is where we find treasure. And these are the treasure. And there's another match that I like to say is Matt Capane, who is 6 feet tall. He goes one-on-one against King Bomani from Akron, Ohio, 7 feet tall, 425 pounds. Match of the Giants. So these were the matches, the match cards. And last but not least, Nightmare Factory Zone, the guy who was trained by Cody Rhodes, QT Marshall, someone who took the World Heavyweight title, AWW World Heavyweight title, to the Steve Harvey show, someone who got a chance to be in a movie. El Santos, my hero, Logan Ragnarok, will go one-on-one against Phoenix, Arizona's own Donnie Palmer. So you don't want to miss all this action. This is what's happening on April 18th. AWWA presents Uncensored.
Oh man, we're gonna have to start calling you the treasure hunter. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how to find them out here, Jack. Oh man, it's gonna be one hell of a fight of a night. I'm so excited to see all of this great talent that you have put together. This is gonna be amazing. If you haven't got your tickets yet, go get your tickets before it sell out. Yeah.
Tickets are available on eventbrite.com, or you can contact us on the social media as well. Also, there's options for at the gate too. So, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Well, listen, it has been an honor to have you on this show. Thank you for sharing your life with us. Thank you for sharing your experiences and bringing a little bit of the AWWA flavor to the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, man. I want you to help us in the show. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
And you can do it in any impression that you want to, and you could just do it as Vikram. All right. I'm gonna say we will see you next week on the next best. I'm going to point to you. I only want you to say one word. You have to say damn. But you have to say damn with some galls. Damn with some, from the pits of your soul, you got to bring that damn up. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Beautiful people, best damn nation. We will see you next week on the next best.
Well, beautiful people. All right, you're going to see this amazing podcast next week. Best Damn Wrestling Podcast.
Oh, I love that. Oh, man. You can check us out on all of our platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. Join Roosevelt's TikTok as he is ticking and talking and trying to get up to 10,000. So we're excited. But and also thank you to all of our sponsors, Nature Made, Brickhouse Nutrition, Marriott Bonvoy, Fanatics. Thank you guys for supporting the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. We will see you later.
Thank you so much.
We did you.